Hi, my name is Milan here. As promised, some road trip data. So it was 1,400 kilometers, cost around about 134 per kilometer, and charging speed 20s to 30s, and kilometer per hour kilometers around about 19.3, number of stops 5. But let's get quickly into this. So there's the road. I'm going to look at actually at the up and the down. So it's not only 1,400, it's of course a bit more. Looking at the spreadsheet, at the top you will see we've got the columns for start and finish time. That's charging time. Took 17 hours in total to charge. Up was definitely longer, down was a bit quicker. Then there's the date we charged, the location of the stops that might be of interest to you. There's the cost of rands, and the kilowatt hour goes together, and the approximate distance. That can be an interesting one between the stations. Then also kilometer per kilowatt and the average charge speed. Okay, so yes, that's the real one. So total kilometers was, what did we see at the bottom? 3,440 kilometers. And the total cost was, that's the cost, 3,500 rands for about 2,800 kilometers. And the total kilowatt of 552. Really, I was quite impressed. So it's rand. What's rand per kilometer then? 2,800 we said. And the total at the end was actually then 126. But of course we charged free initially, and we charged free at the end as well. So that quite makes a difference as well. In the Excel, if you look at some of them, the efficiency was almost too good at some of them, but that was because we didn't charge fully. First one, okay, so going up, Johannesburg, that was a slow one. We at least had a breakfast. Then the Karoo Junction Mall, Bloemfontein, that was, so the first stop was only up to 200 kilometers, then 186 kilometers. And initially when we went up, the first 200 kilometers, we probably did too quickly. So the kilometer per kilowatt was quite low, 3.3. The next stretch was much better, a kilometer per kilowatt, 4.1. And the next stretch even better, 4.83. That was a short stretch to Richmond. In the last stretch to Koelsberg, also not bad. After a couple of detours, that was also quite efficient, 3.52. Quite short. Then the next day, yes, was a nice stretch, 200 kilometers. That wasn't too efficient. That was 4.28. But remember, full charges or not full charges makes a big difference. But there we probably were in a hurry towards the end. So it makes a big difference. Ventersburg, a better stretch, 3.84 kilometers per kilowatt, short stretch, and then Roadtrip, that number is just completely out, 13.11. It's just because we only topped up at Roadtrip, we didn't fill up. Coming down back to Cape Town, so we charged for free at BMW head office. There was a nice stop there, go and have a visit. There's also, you can see a quick charge. Bloemfontein Casino was a quick charge, Koelsberg was a quick charge, and the airport was a really quick charge. So some of them were really nice and quick. So after a good start, Ventersburg was a quick start, about 40, almost 40 kilowatt hours. That was a long stretch also from Midrand to Ventersburg. So really was chuffed to make that. Then to Bloemfontein, a quick stretch. So we picked up speed there. Nice quick charge at Bloemfontein where it was raining. Koelsberg, also very quick charge. Richmond, the machine was stuck a little bit, but the charge was decent at 30. Another quick one, 80 kilometers to Beaufort Face. Fortunately, no queues there. Then to Johannesburg, again, we had no queues coming down to Cape Town. 200 kilometers, that's a nice stretch. We didn't fill up fully as Johannesburg was quite a slow 20 kilowatt hour charge. But fortunately, we made booster, and we topped up and went home. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the numbers. So up numbers was 1,880 about, and down was 1,650. So 200 Rand difference. So we really had a more efficient drive. That's all. The uphills, really driving uphill, that didn't make a big difference. It was more about speed. So yeah, speed's a big issue. We drove between 105, 110 kilometers per hour. If you pitched up to 120, you can really see the difference. So if the range, if you have to cover more than 200 kilometers in the R23, relax a bit, drive 110 until maybe the last 50 kilometers in sight. Also, another trick we did, we looked at the Google Maps, kilometers to go versus the range. So as long as the range is above the kilometers, you're A-okay. But on 200 kilometers, you definitely need a range, starting range of 300 kilometers. If you 100 left to go, you probably want a range still left of 125, 150 even. And 50 kilometers out, I suppose, then it can start to break even a bit. But generally, watch your range, don't run out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, subscribe button for more content to come your way.